Hello.
Hey, how's things?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
Good.
to be with you, Alice. Yeah.
Y- Yeah, thank you. Thanks for asking me to do this. I'm excited.
Yeah. And by the way, I love working with you at IMSHAF. And yeah, nice.
Thanks. Likewise, thank you. I'm still trying to find my feet, but yeah, it's going good, I think. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
great community as well.
it is. It is. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. And by the way, congratulations on your wedding. Yeah.
Thank you, thanks. Yeah, I'm really happy.
How was your trip to Asia?
Amazing. It was so good. It's Britain feels very cold, but yeah, no, it was really special. We both absolutely love it, like especially like Southeast Asia. So yeah, it was stunning, and we ate so much food.
Yes, that's the best part of travels, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
How
like
have
I
you
think
been though? How are you doing?
we're all doing well. Yeah, we're all doing
Good.
well. Yeah, so we'll focus on you today.
Oh,
And I've been reading a lot of content on you, and like they're just very powerful. Yeah. See,
thank you.
like you said something that yeah, help me. Yeah, power
Hmm.
of sports. What do you mean by that? Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay. So when I talk about the power of sport, I mean the opportunities which it can give to individuals and communities. So, myself, for example, I have been so fortunate to benefit from sport in so many different ways. It's shaped me into the person that I am. I've met the most amazing people from it. I've had the most amazing opportunities to travel the world and try new things and put myself out of my comfort zone. And I don't think there are many things in life which can kind of unlock those opportunities. Maybe arts and music, perhaps, but I think sport has a really unique space in the competitive element it can foster, but also with that, the communities and the individuals that you can meet from it. So I'm personally really passionate about getting as many people as possible into sport. I do think there is a sport for everybody. And it's just when you find your sport, and if you're good at it or not, I think it's completely irrelevant. As long as you're happy and engaged with it, you can really have some like special moments with it.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. You know what? I completely agree with you. In fact, I think swimming is something that has taught me a lot. Many things that I didn't learn in school or school did not give me a chance to learn. Swimming taught me. The people that I met through swimming has taught me a lot about myself and my leadership uh, skills, team building, importance of community, and also importance of family. Yeah. So these are things that I've learned. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, beautiful.
Right. Thank you.
So 1500 meters freestyle in the pool, 5K open water, a 10K open water. Which is your favorite?
Oh, I think it's got to be 10K open water. 1500 in the pool was honestly my least favorite pool event that I swam, to be honest. I think it's really hard to master tactically,
Yes.
especially as I was coming through the generation of swimmers that, especially for women, weren't really allowed to do the 1500. We were more like always 800, and then the 1500 was like maybe once a year if you're lucky. So I was really good at that when I was younger, and then kind of wasn't. I was still good at it, but not as good as the 8 and the 4, because that's where my where the pool specialty started to lead towards. The 400 in the pool is my personal favorite, but the 10K open water I feel just suited me. Honestly, if it was any further, if it was like a 15 or 20K, it might have been a different story. 10K was my happy sweet spot, because 5 felt way too short. Like you get in, it's done within an hour, and I'm kind of like, what just happened? But with the 10, you've got time to like flesh things out. It's very tactical. It's a tough race, isn't it? It's really, really hard. I'll be honest, I've never swam further than 10K. I'm not sure I ever will. But I've got a real love for it and a real respect for any open water swimmers out there, because I just think it really pushes you out of your comfort zone. No matter who you are, no matter what level you're at, it will challenge you.
Like, what's the strategy for like a 10K swim? Because like, I mean, the races that I've been watching in the last 6 months, people are sprinting. They're like, what's
Yes,
happening here, guys?
I know. This is why I'm actually like quite happy I retired at the time I retired at, because my personal tactic was sit at the back, let the race unfold, and then sprint past people on the last lap and like conserve as much energy as possible. I was never going to be the fastest over 10K. I don't really have that time trial engine, is kind of what I call it. So, you see Florian Wellbrock, Mauricia Johnson, they can get in and basically do a 10K time trial and still have enough energy for the sprint at the end to win the race. I personally, that would never be my strength, but the fact that open water's leaning that way, and kind of ending up becoming like, you have to be at the front if you want to win from the start, is really, really challenging. So, you've seen Sharon Van Rooyendaal, Anna Marcel Cunha, especially in the women's race, kind of sit a bit further back and then like start to punch through. But now with Maurice Johnson, I think we're looking at kind of a new generation. And we saw that happen with the men's race, with the likes of Ferry Wertman of the Netherlands, who would be that swimmer sat in the pack and then come through and sprint finish. But now with Florian Wellbrock, it's been flipped on its head. So it's a completely different dynamic, and it just keeps evolving. The sports in the Olympic sense is fairly young. So you're constantly getting people coming in, trying something new and moving it forward in quite scary ways, to be honest.
Yes. I have a suggestion. We should make it 20K.
Tactics into it, yeah. Oh, 20K. Oh gosh, I mean, even the 25, or I say even the 25, the 25 is just something else. These ultra marathons, they're really, really tough. And I've spoke to Sharon at the World Championships and just hearing the tactics of how a 25K works is mind blowing for me, because personally never would have done it, never attempted it. But you're seeing so many 10K swimmers take that 25K as another opportunity to get an open water medal, but also to get experience for the 10 and for the Olympic events. So you really have to be an all-rounder at this point.
Yes. I mean, it's like, you guys as an age group swimmer, I swam a lot. Like we were packing up for like 15K per day. But I don't think I can do that. I can feel the lactic acid in my shoulders.
It's the amount that you have to eat as well, the amount you have to sleep. There's so many sacrifices to it. So I enjoyed my time. I'm very happy sat on the other side of it now, but it's fantastic to watch.
Beautiful. Tell me about your parents' influence in your swimming career. I believe your mom has played a significant role, but I'm not going to make any. I would love to hear it.
Thank you. So my parents, so my mum is Ghanaian and my dad is British. My mum moved over to the UK in like maybe the 1990, something like that, and ended up having me in like 97. And I got into swimming when I was 4 years old, and that was because of my mum. She swam a lot back in Ghana. She was always in the ocean, and she knew for me and my two older brothers that we needed to be able to swim, that we needed to have that life skill. And it's quite ironic with my family because my dad actually doesn't know how to swim. So for anybody who's not aware, there's this stereotype that Black people don't swim, that they can't swim, their bones are too dense. And so kind of having this like opposite flipped way in terms of my mum knowing how to swim, my dad not knowing how to swim, I wasn't really aware of these stereotypes and of these of these myths and these lies about Black people in swimming. And so I was like navigating through swimming. My mum was very much like my support, my rock. My dad ended up moving away for work and was really supportive, like financially and everything like that. But in terms of like taking me to swimming, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, my mum was there with me, going through it all, and being really patient with me as well, you know, giving me the space sometimes to not go to training if I didn't feel like it. There were multiple times where I didn't like swimming, where I felt like quitting, where training was too much. It was too much with school. And I'd say, I don't really want to do it anymore. And she'd be like, okay, just like take the evening off swimming. And then I'd take the evening off and I'd walk back in and I'd be like, oh, mum, I feel really bad. I didn't go swimming. Like, I miss it. I want to go back. And that was after like one afternoon. And she's like, yeah, that's okay. We'll go back tomorrow. It's fine. So I was really, really grateful for her patience and her support. And I'm really lucky that it's been lifelong, that when I went to university, I did start to stand on my own 2 feet a bit more, but she was still there supporting me, coming to a few competitions until I felt old enough to like not need her there anymore. And she even still now watches the race where I qualified for the Olympics. Like, she'll say, oh, I just watched the Olympic qualification race, which is obviously like 4 years old now. And it's just like, it's really touching to know that I think I've made her proud. I think we're in a fortunate position that all of the hard work that we both put in was able to amount to something very special. And I know that's very much not the case for a lot of people who work so hard in swimming. So I'm so happy that I was able to achieve what I achieved. And a lot of that is because of my mum's hard work as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Yeah. If you don't mind, send me that link of your qualification for Olympics. I would love to watch that as well. Okay. Yeah. And I know lately you've been doing a lot of work in terms of, like, I mean, you mentioned the myth that, okay, hey, that Black people can't swim. Okay.
Yeah.
Something that you've said actually made me think you want to diversify the sport. That's amazing. Yeah. Like, tell us about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So I've loved swimming. I think it's fantastic. I think it's something that everybody should know how to do, whether they like it or not. Unfortunately, it's a life skill, and it can get into a really scary part where if you don't know how to swim, your life could be at risk. So we've really been trying, myself and the Black Swimming Association, it's a charity which I co-founded in the UK, trying to diversify the sport, trying to get as many people who haven't had access to swimming, who haven't had the opportunities that we've been so gifted with, to be able to learn how to swim. And it did initially start as, you know, by Black people, for Black people. And we're looking to debunk these myths. We're looking to we're already doing some really great research into bone density and the cultural issues which affect our communities. But the programs that we are working on and that we do have already started to go into other communities outside of the Black communities. We've helped Black people, Asian people, Latina people, white people, basically anybody who doesn't have this opportunity and hasn't had the chance to get into water and have that experience and that exposure. That's who we're looking to get to. And so I've been in the sport since I was competitively since I was 8 years old, and now I'm 28. So a good part of 2 decades has been a huge part of my life. And I just really want to see the sport continue to grow and to embrace more and more people who are willing to, you know, get in, give it a go, work hard, and hopefully get something out of it too. So that's what I mean by diversify it. Just giving opportunity to people who haven't had it before. People like my dad, for example, you know, he's probably not the stereotypical person that you would think doesn't know how to swim, but, you know, he's a white man in his 60s who hated swimming at school and never learned how to swim because of it. And there are so many stories like that, regardless of race, regardless of age, regardless of generation, that people have missed out on those opportunities. And I just want to try and reach as many of them as possible.
Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So it's called Black Swimming Association.
Yes. Yeah. The Black Swimming Association, BSA. Yeah.
Yes. Nice. Yeah. And you've said another nice thing, which I think I firmly believe in. Training as a tool to better myself.
Wow.
Oh,
I wonder where I've said all this. Yeah, so I personally, I'm always honest about this. I really struggled with training. Often hated it. Really had to battle through, like you mentioned, as an age group swimmer, swimming 15K a day. And that's not the biggest day of your week. That's one day, and then you've got to do that the next day and the next day. And I overthink. I do overthink a lot. And so in these sessions, I'd be there like trying to escape instead of embracing the fact that I'm in the moment and things like that. So as I grew up and got older, I really had to kind of understand who I was as a trainer and what I could get out of training, both physically and mentally. And so, like training to better myself in the sense of course, I'm going to get that physical benefit, but also what can I learn about myself from training, and then use that to hopefully become a better person and a better athlete because of it. So, for example, in a 10K, I would often find my mind would wander. I'd get quite distracted. I'd start thinking about other things, trying to escape the moment as much as possible. And as I got older, I realized, I was like, Alice, you actually, if you want to be good at this event, you can't afford to do that. You need to be locked into every minute, every second. And so in training, I would be like, if I noticed my mind wandering, I'd have to really pull it back. And then that began to translate into racing and maybe help me become a better racer as well. So I think there are many aspects which athletes can benefit from looking at their training. And it's not, most of the time, it's actually not a physical issue that you might be working on. For me, it was always mental and overcoming those barriers.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah. And I've also noticed that, like training, like what you mentioned applies in every walk of life. Yeah. Like,
yes.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because like I have a friend. So once she mentioned, I enjoy writing this exam. Yeah. Like maybe that's because she had studied hard for it. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Like some of us who were like the backbenchers. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because I trained hard in the pool, but I didn't study hard, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, like it's one of those ones where you do all the hard work in training, or you do the hard work studying, for example, then you finally get the opportunity to let all of your hard work shine, and you write it on that paper, or you get in the pool and do something, or you do a great presentation at work, and all of the things that we might find daunting or challenging, I think you just kind of have to live up to it and enjoy it as much as possible. 10Ks, for example, didn't particularly enjoy them in the moment, but the satisfaction that you get afterwards of, I did that well, or I didn't quite do that, so next time I'm going to improve this, can be really, really beneficial and really inspirational to yourself. Yeah.
Yes, awesome. Yeah. What does failure mean to you, and how have you dealt with it? If you ever, failed,
A failure, I think, for anybody, and this is, whether you view yourself as an athlete or not, failure is a normal part of life, and I think it should be embraced as much as possible. It's going to happen. It's okay that it happens. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just how things go sometimes. I've failed many times in my career. My final race as an athlete, as a competitive athlete, was a failure. I got in to do a specific goal and I didn't achieve it, so I was a failure in that sense. But the way I kind of navigated that was maybe a bit of, I don't know if it's called fatalism, just being like, hey, it wasn't meant for me. And I gave it my best shot. And I think that's the one thing that I've always wanted to be able to say at the end of my career is I tried my best. And it's the nice thing with sports sometimes is you can kind of say, hey, I just wasn't the best person on the day. I wasn't my best self in those moments, but also I was beat fair and square. And I sometimes think that's an easier thing to reckon with than perhaps other industries get the opportunities for, especially with sport in the sport I do, where it's all time-based. Whereas I imagine with like getting a promotion or something like that, it can be a bit more challenging to navigate those things. But at the same time, it doesn't define who you are. Because just because I didn't go to the Paris Olympics, I don't see my career as a failure. I see that as a moment of, oh well, you know, I got to Tokyo. I didn't perform how I wanted to at Tokyo. That was my driving passion for Paris. My passion ebbed and flowed a lot between Tokyo and that opportunity to qualify in Paris. I had a lot of setbacks. Took some time out of the pool because I wasn't enjoying it mentally. Took some time out of the pool because I needed an operation. So, you know, all of this kind of packed into quite a short amount of time within the space of, gosh, 2.5 years, or maybe just no, 2 years, sorry. So it's quite a lot happening at once. So I think just understanding the circumstances you're dealt and rising to the challenge as much as possible and putting down an effort that you will say that you will be proud of. And if that effort is good enough, great, celebrate, go for it. But if it isn't, accept that it isn't, and you can move on to other things and build from that, or learn and get to try again. So yeah, that's kind of how I've navigated it. Is the fear of regret is much worse than failing, in my opinion. So my regrets would have came from not trying in the first place. At least if I give it a go, I'll know that I wasn't good enough. And that's what happened with me for Paris. So yeah, that's kind of how I've like moved on from that disappointment.
Beautiful. Yeah. In fact, yeah, every time I have failed, Alice, it has made me stronger.
Yes.
Learned the most when I've failed. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. And what's the most difficult thing that you've done, Alice? Like swimming, work, life, anything? Yeah.
Okay. The most difficult in terms of my athletic career was my first ever 10K. It was my first time in open water, full stop. And it was a marathon. I just turned 16 years old. It was a race in Portugal in a rowing lake. And there was some really bad weather. And the water ended up dropping down to about 14 degrees, which I know for a lot of people watching this won't be cold for you, but it was very cold for me. We weren't in wetsuits, which I know, again, is another thing on top of it where people will be like, I don't need a wetsuit anyway. But my first time in open water, 14 degrees. I was 16 years old. I think I weighed 45 kilograms at the time. It really tested me. It really, really tested me. I managed to finish the race. Me and my roommate, we'd promised each other no matter what happened, we would finish the race. And that was the one thing that kept me going, was I can't let her down. I can't let her down. And I didn't even know her before we'd gone to this competition. I'd met her, got on really well with her. And we promised that we would do that. Got out of the race. We'd both managed to finish. So we were really happy. And took me to European Juniors off the back of that. European Juniors was a 5K, and I ended up winning that race. And this is kind of how I got into open water. It was kind of, it found me. And I think my resilience and tenacity lent well to the sport. So that was the hardest 10K that I'd ever done. But outside of my sporting career, I think the hardest thing I've ever done in my life was a screen test for Sky Sports News. How do I describe this? So it's basically to test whether you'll be good on camera and good reading out live news. And I had never done anything like this before. I sat down in a chair in like a mock studio. There's about 5 different screens all in front of me. I've got a laptop in front of me. There's 3 different cameras. There's someone speaking in your ear. The earpiece didn't fit my ear either. So it was like half falling out, trying to listen to what they're telling me, but also having to read the news. And it was really one of the most like difficult and out of my comfort zone things I've ever did. It only lasted about 5 minutes, but in those, I was just like, yeah, it was really, really intense. And I came out of it and I was like, that's actually the most stressful and hardest thing I think I've ever done. Because, you know, with swimming, at least I knew swimming, like it was my thing. I knew what to do. I knew what to expect. It was still swimming at the end of the day. But that screen test was just a whole nother ballpark. So yeah, they're kind of like 2 very different elements to my life and things that I've navigated.
Wow. Yeah. I know. I mean, yeah, like I don't swim a lot these days, but I think the next time we meet, you and I should go for an easy swim.
Oh, please. Yeah.
No racing.
Nice and short. That'd be really nice.
Beautiful, yeah. So, Alice, you have a fantastic career in sports. The first Black woman to have represented Great Britain in marathon swimming,
Mhm.
and you have a master's degree in mass communication.
Social media and political communication. Yeah, yeah.
You've you're part of the IMSHAF executive committee. Like, is there any message that you want to give out to normal people like me and like the youngsters who want to, like, hey, I want to do something? Yeah, like, okay, yeah, like, yeah.
I would say, firstly, find your voice, whatever that may be. Don't be afraid to use it. I personally, with telling my story, kind of wrote it down myself first, and it was published in a magazine that doesn't exist anymore, sadly. But that's how I first found my voice, and I was like, honestly, I don't really care if nobody cares. I need to do this for myself. I need to let this be out there. And if people want to hear more, great. They can come to me. I will speak. I'm really happy to do that. But if they don't and nobody cares, at least I've tried. At least I've been honest to myself. I'm not going to regret telling my story. And I certainly haven't over the past, 6 years that I've been telling it. I've been really fortunate to have been embraced and to be uplifted. But also what I would say with that is find the people who are going to support you in those moments as well, because it's not always easy. Especially the things I've personally spoken about are very controversial. It's opened me up to potentially a lot of abuse. I've been very fortunate. I haven't received much, if any, throughout my time doing it. But I just say make sure you've got people around you who are ready to support you and see your vision and understand it. Not everybody will, and I think that's okay. You know, that's life. Some people are for you, some people aren't for you. And also don't be afraid to find those people and let them know what you're planning. You know, speak things out loud, have conversations, allow people to support you. Basically, I think quite often we think we have to do these things by ourselves. It's absolutely not the case. My mum, my husband, my agent, my dad, my brothers, countless friends, they've all looked after me and uplifted me in those moments and celebrated with me and been there for me when I failed as well. So find your voice and also find the people who are going to celebrate your voice as well.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah, allow people to support you. That's a powerful statement. Yeah,
absolutely.
Alice, I think that wonderful positive message, I think we should end this. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
And, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, we'll speak tomorrow. And thank you so much for this. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.